Hello and welcome back to Scribe Life. Now this is the third installment in our Uncial tour, if you will, and in this episode we'll be covering the straight letters, inverted commas. So these are letters that are primarily defined by the vertical lines. They may include some of the curved lines, but primarily the vertical lines. So we'll start with the I. Simplest letter. It is more or less a single curved, if I can get the ink to work. Not doing awfully well with that. And then just pull straight down for a vertical line that ends just at the X height. Now you can alternatively have that slight straight line, a sort of horizontal line that curves into the vertical line. Either is fine. It's more or less just every stroke that you've done for the P, or slightly shorter, the N, the U, very similar. So that one shouldn't be a problem for you at all. And moving on to the J. The J is similar to the I. It's just, it continues slightly below the X line and curves ever so slightly at that bottom section, as you can see. So just do that one more time. And again, you can do the slight horizontal line instead of that curve if you so wish. Up to you. The next one is the alternative version of the N that I mentioned in my previous episode. So instead of the curve, it's mostly straight and diagonal letters. So in order to achieve that letter, you start with your vertical stroke, and then this is a little bit tricky. You want to create a sort of diagonal line that curves just slightly, just a little bit. It's not completely diagonal, and there's a real art to it. But when you connect the second vertical, you can see that it has that really lovely sort of half curve. And if you try that one more time, that same vertical that we all know and love, slight curve, and then the vertical again. So try that out if you like. Here's the alternative version if that floats your boat. And see which one you prefer. The next letter is the L, which is a curved vertical, and then extend out slightly, and you can flick it just up a bit to form the lower bar again. If you want to do the alternative version with the slight horizontal and then the vertical and the horizontal again, that's also perfectly fine. Depends on what you feel like. But again, it's quite similar to the I and the J, but just with the extension at the bottom. And now the next letter is B. B is a little bit tricky because it's got the curves. You've got the vertical, then you do a small upper semicircle, and then a larger second semicircle, and then you join it with a little horizontal stroke at the bottom. So just do that one more time. Curve into the vertical, small semicircle, larger semicircle, and then the horizontal. Beautiful. Okay, moving on to a slightly similar letter, the R. So the R starts with the vertical again, and then the small semicircular, and then you just pull this 45-degree angle diagonal line. If you like, you can extend that slightly below the X height, like so, up to you. Sometimes I see that sort of style. Sometimes you can see the R where it has not actually connected with that vertical, and that's also perfectly fine, and that does look rather lovely if you can get it to look right. So just experiment, see which one works for you. And the next one is the K. So the K again starts with a vertical. Now you sort of start a little bit away from that vertical and pull sort of diagonally, and then connecting to the vertical, and then with another diagonal line. So that's a little bit top heavy. We'll try that one more time. Vertical, diagonal, second diagonal, much better. So that's the K. And the final letter for this group is the straight T. Now I've already shown you the T with the curved version. This one's super simple, just single horizontal, single vertical, single horizontal, single vertical. Very simple, and it just depends on which one you prefer to use. So that is the straight letter set. Just have a practice with those, especially the B. The B may be a little bit tricky, but you know, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. It's just a matter of making sure that those semicircles are just smaller versions of the semicircles that you normally do with the N and the H. So just give it a practice, and until the next episode, where we'll be covering the diagonal and the odd letters, keep on scribbling.